This is part 2 of the LMN time application training video. Here we're going to go through some of the little more advanced things you can do with LMN time as a foreman. Let's start by looking at our favorite, which is editing time. Everybody knows mistakes happen in the field. You forget to clock in, or you clock in at the wrong time, and you need to make a correction after the fact. Editing your time is not that difficult. First, pick the timesheet you want to edit. Next, find the job that you want to edit. So for example, maybe for me it's this Anderson job on mowing. I started at 8:01, I finished at 1:59. If I want to change my start time on the job, all I need to do is touch the employee whose time I want to change. In this case, I'll change Sam Bax. First, it's going to show me my time, and I can't actually change it on this screen yet until I click the edit button at the bottom. When I click the edit button, now you can see the little lock buttons beside start and end show up as unlocked. And this is what allows me to change the time. So now I can touch the start time, 8:01, and I can back it up, for example, to say 8 o'clock. Very small change just for training. Now I hit set. Now when I click OK, it's allowed me to change my time, but what it's also picked up as there was another task you were clocked in to at this time. And so it gives me 3 options. I can adjust the end time of the other task, so change it to 8 o'clock. I can change this task back to what it was, or I can just cancel the operation entirely. So if I leave it as adjust other task and click OK, what'll happen is Sam Bax's time changed to 8 o'clock to start at Anderson CVI, and Sam Bax's end time changed at the shop from 8:01 to 8 o'clock. So it's changed both those times. It's clocked him in a minute earlier on the one task and clocked him out a minute earlier on the other task. So that's how to edit a time. The key point about editing a time is remembering when you come in here, you won't be able to change it now. These are locked. You have to come down and click the edit button. Now, just a side note, the office can see when you edit a time and what time it really was. So don't get in the habit of making mistakes. Try as hard as you can to get your timesheet right in the first place. But if you do need to make a change, the tools are there to allow you to do it. Now, when you've submitted a timesheet and it's waiting for approval, you will not be able to make these changes. If that's the case, you'll have to get the office to change it back to in progress so that you can fix your own mistakes. If that happens after you've already submitted it. Now let's look at another common mistake, picking the wrong job. Let's say we go to clock in and we're a little rushed. I'll go job clock in, I'll pick a job, I'll go next, mowing is okay, and we'll finish our clock in process. Now once I'm clocked in, let's imagine you realize that accidentally we clocked into the wrong job. I clocked under daily hobby and I should be under a different job. Now you can delete this and go back and do the same process again, but there's an easier way to do that. There's a magnifying glass on the right-hand side of every job. Start by clicking that. Brings you to the review task screen. At the bottom of the review task screen, there's a swap button. You're going to want to click swap. Now it says switch to, and you can pick the job that you want to switch to. So for example, if I was supposed to instead click the Boca job, I'll click Boca Offices, next. Ask me what task I want to work on at Boca, so I'll make sure it's maintenance, hit next, and it says the old task was daily hobby, the new task is Boca Offices, are you sure? And you click finish. And now what it's done is just switch the tasks. So instead of being at that other job, it's changed it to the Boca Offices job. That's a fast way to switch jobs if you have made a mistake. Another common mistake is forgetting to clock in people in the morning. Pretty easy to fix though. Let's say you're halfway through the day and you realize you forgot to add one of the employees with you that day to the timesheet. You don't have to go through and add them one at a time from the beginning. You can do it right here on the fly. Follow me now. What we're going to do is go to the top right-hand corner and click the menu button, and then you're going to click Manage Crew. Now when you get to the Manage Crew screen at the top, there's a button that says Add New. Click Add New, and then pick an employee. So now here's where I'm going to pick the employee I forgot. Let's say we forgot Josh that day. Then it says Copy Time From. So Josh would likely have the same in and out times as somebody that I already have on the timesheet. So that's what I'll do. I'll say Josh and Sean would have had the same start and end times on all the tasks. Click OK when you're done. It says, are you sure you wish to add this employee? Click yes. And now, if I go back out of this screen to my timesheet, you'll see here on the offices and even here on previous jobs, Josh has been added to our timesheets and he'll have the exact same in and out times as Sean Dennison. It makes it a lot faster to add an employee after the fact instead of going back one job at a time and trying to put them back in. Now, let's also look at what happens if an employee is late. Same thing, we want to go to the menu at the top and I want to go to the Manage Crew button again. Let's say Sean was late that day and we want to mark him as late. So I'm going to touch Sean and then I'm going to say the employee was late. You're going to do that just by touching that cell there. It asks you how many minutes they're late. So let's say Sean was 15 minutes late and it was because of car trouble. You're going to type that in the reason and then click OK. And now Sean's flagged as being 15 minutes late. Flagging him as late will not deduct that time from him. It'll simply record that he should have been there 15 minutes earlier starting. So that's how you let the office know somebody was late. There's also a way to track absent employees. So let's say somebody was supposed to be with us in our crew today, but they called in sick at the last moment. So top right-hand corner again, I'm going to open up my menu and I'm going to go Manage Crew again. If I want to add an absent employee, I'm going to click the Add Absent button. Now I'm going to pick the employee who was absent. Let's say it was Leela, and she was absent because she was sick. Click OK. And now you'll see Leela was here marked as absent on our timesheet. So Leela is not going to show up in our tasks here, but she will show up in the Manage Crew menu and on the final review screen as an absent employee. One of the other things that you can do on your timesheet is find a job. So if you're looking for a job as an address, down at the bottom you can go Map Job. So I'm on the bottom row here and I'm going to click the Map Job icon. And that's going to open up a list of all your company jobs. So first of all, type the job that you're looking for. And it'll look for job name or address. And once you've found your job, just click it. When you press your job name, it'll take you to a Google map of that job. If you want to get directions to that job, you want to click the directions arrow, which will show up in the bottom right-hand corner. It's that little blue button I have in the bottom right. It may look different on the iPhone, but there's a button there as well for directions. Now you can choose your starting point, which is your current address, or if you click that, it'll allow you to pick your location. So what that'll do is GPS where your phone is right now, and then generate a map for you from your current location to the site you're going to. Pick the route you want to take, and you'll get directions here turn by turn. So there's a fast way to get directions from a site. When you're finished with this and ready to go back to your timesheet, just close down this window and you'll be back to your timesheet. That's it for our tips and tricks. In a couple of weeks of using LMN Time app, you should be a master at it. There's not too much going on here. Once you learn how to do things 2 or 3 times, it'll become natural, and sooner or later you'll find yourself an expert. Thanks for watching.